kind of annoyed because I definitely just did this and then my computer froze, and I'm really disliking computers, and I know that's what this class is about, but still. Um, so yeah, this is mostly just me procrastinating now because I think I'd rather talk to myself and study for my exam that I have tonight. So I'm taking a little break and doing just that, talking to myself. But I'm actually going to talk about the material on the exam because it's actually really interesting. It's a class about the environment, so it deals with like recycling and like toxic waste and like chemicals and things that we use on a regular basis, uh, like your Nalgene bottle. I know there's been a lot of controversy. That seems to be the example that everybody knows. The media portrays these things like they'll release studies or something like, oh, chemicals are going to leach out of your Nalgene bottle into the water, and then you're going to get toxic like poisoning or whatever. And I think that like the class really looks at numbers instead of like it presents those facts, but then like it shows you the numbers behind it and shows you that it's really not that big of a risk because the toxicity isn't enough to do anything for you. And it's like it's logic to think that certain things that we made, like synthetic stuff, like rubber or plastic or I can't really think of like electronic stuff too, like your laptop or your cell phone, like cell phone radiation and stuff like that. Like it's natural to be scared of that because we obviously like it's stuff that we make and it's stuff that doesn't occur naturally, and there's a ton of chemicals involved in the process. So it's like people are on edge about it, and that's understandable, but I think the media really does a bad job of portraying it just because they like instill fear in people by not presenting any numbers of their studies. Like yeah, chemicals will leach out of your Nalgene bottle because it is plastic, but it's not enough to do anything. It's not enough to really have any sort of effect because it's way below the healthy levels, so it's not an issue at all. And like another one that I found really funny was like asbestos, and how like I know the school that I was at when I think this was back when I was in like high school, they had to clean out some of the school because they found asbestos. And the thing is that it has like a lot of old buildings have it, but it's such a small insignificant amount that like 1 in a million kids is gonna get lung cancer because of asbestos. And like they just like everyone was living in fear because of it, and we shut down entire schools, and people like it's safe to work in an asbestos mine. Like no one really calls that out. And like I mean, if that's safe, I'm pretty sure that being around asbestos in like your ceiling in like such low qualities is also going to be safe. So I think people just like the media scares people, and then the people freak out because they don't want, like if kids are involved it gets really intense too, because they don't want to you don't want to put your kids in harm's way because of chemicals and stuff. So it's really interesting to look at situations like that, and then it presents the actual data behind it, and you're like, wow, people just like kind of freaked out for nothing, but the media sort of scares you into it. And so I think you have to be really careful. You have to like take everything the media says like a grain of salt, just because you don't you don't really know until you go and you check it out yourself. So that's probably my advice to anyone. Like next time you hear one of these studies, go check it out, because often the numbers are exaggerated, like really exaggerated. Like take for example mad cow disease. Like you get one cow in all of Canada that reportedly has mad cow disease, and like people stop buying Canadian beef, and that hurts the industry like crazy. And like I was reading that there were 200 people who died of mad cow disease when they had that big outbreak. And like that's a really insignificant number. That's a really insignificant number when you look at like 50,000 people die in car accidents every day. But people still use their cars even though that's a huge risk. So, like I think it's just over exaggerated because it's bizarre and it's out of the normal, but it's still like you can't freak out over little things like that. Like you have to take into consideration the media's influence on it. So that is my warning. to be leery of what the media says, because you have to really look at the numbers, because it's not always true. And even if it is in some part true, it might not necessarily be bad for you. Just because it's there doesn't mean it's going to kill you. Okay.